Well, my friends, it's 2025. This is going to be a historic year for a lot of reasons. You know, we aren't a political channel here. We're a video game channel. We're not a damn baby oil channel here, all right? We're not delving into that stuff. We talk Magic the Gathering and Commander specifically. I'm not out here to talk about Puff Daddy or Kanye West or what they're getting up to. I'm talking about our hero, Edgar Markov, who just got a reprint. Let's talk about deck building philosophy, prices, and how I view all this absolute beast of a commander. We're going to dissect this creature, not disrespect, dude. We're going to dive deep, my brothers. We're going to go so deep. You're going to get a bill for a colonoscopy after we're done, so I hope you have insurance. But first, take a moment to subscribe to Better Commander. All my stuff is free, but the patrons and members get early videos, you know, all kinds of upgrades on their life, dude. Memberships are below and the Patreon is in the description. Many thanks to those special people. I love you as much as I love my PlayStation, perhaps more. Now, this beast first came along in 2017. Edgar Markov, 3 red, white, and a black for a legendary creature, Vampire Knight. It's a 4/4, has Eminence. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar is in the command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token, has first strike and haste. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. This is cheaper than I've ever seen it, at about $30, which isn't so bad. Same thing happened with the Ur Dragon when it got reprinted. Still a pricey fella. You know, back in 2017, I knew this was going to be a chase commander, so I bought 2 copies of the pre-con. One to play, one to keep sealed. Still have it hanging out somewhere around here to this day. Now, of course, what makes this card such a bear is the legitimately powerful ability to get a token, even if he's just chilling in the command zone. You know, it is a little 1/1, it's small, but it is a damn vampire. And all you need to do is play this guy as your commander, just let him sit there. No need to build around anything else. Just plop down cheap vampires, get tokens. They benefit from your lords, of course. Captivating Vampire, who is peak vampire fashion with one glove like Michael Jackson out there. Other vampire creatures you control get +1/+1, tap 5 untapped vampires you control, gain control of target creature, it becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. 5 vampires, pretty achievable. When every vampire comes down with a vampire thanks to Edgar. Amazingly, this is 97 cents as we speak due to a reprint and Innistrad remastered along with Edgar. You also have Bloodline Keeper, 2 black creature vampire, it's a 3/3, has flying, has tapped to create a 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying, has black, transform it, activate only if you control 5 or more vampires, transforms into a big old Lord of Lineage, man. Other vampires you control get +2/+2, has that token making ability as well. +2/+2. And makes a bunch of tokens and makes those tokens into legitimate threats. It's about $5, $4 for the showcase. You have a bunch of other lords in these colors. You have Legion Lieutenant, Markov Baron, our other iteration of Edgar here. He's the Charmed Groom. He's got Al Bundy vibes here, man. He's much weaker because he's got married, you know. He doesn't get to do anything cool anymore. He lost all of his riz. He's just got to go to work and die. That's life, buddy. When you're married, that's life. Of course, you have Stromkirk Captain, giving all your dudes first strike and a little bonus. There are a couple others, of course. So we have Lords. We have some vampire-specific payoffs like Anawan, the Ruin Sage. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature of their choice. This guy skipped vampire school, never learned how to fly, but is really cool in a deck like this. And we also have Welcoming Vampire that came along since 2017. This card's been reprinted a couple times, is immensely useful. In these colors, you want as much draw as you can get, and this pays off your tokens. Unless you have too many lords out there, you know. But whatever, man. That's a good problem to have. It's not a bad problem. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. I like this card a lot. When I first started deck building, we had Mentor of the Meek. That's all we had in white. But I consider this an upgrade. Hey man, you gotta put a skull clamp in there, clamp your vampires. Sacrificing these tokens and your vampires is a great way to capitalize on all those tokens cheap vampires, man. Even if they're bigger with your lords, you can usually sacrifice with one of our outlets. Aristocrats is a great way to go in an Edgar deck. Vampire as a creature type has great sacrifice outlets, like the Viscera Seer. That's the poster boy out here, man. I see people pronounce this all kinds of ways, right? Just means guts. Visceral. You ever hear the word visceral? It's like a feeling in your guts. You henny out here? Are you kidding me? This guy's made of energy. You Vorthos dudes need to fill me in on Aetherborns, but he is a vampire. I've had Yahenni get so big, man. Does a ton for 3 mana. This is a great card. From Ixalan, we got Bartolome del Presidio. It's another instant speed sack outlet that you can use to get really big, man. Not quite as good as Yahenni, but he tries his best, alright? Looks like Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. R.I.P. Best voice I've ever heard in music, man, legit. You young dudes out there, if you never listen to Soundgarden, Audio Slave, go look them up. I'll wait, go ahead. And I do think people sleep on this beautiful bloody flying weirdo. The Falconwrath Aristocrat has flying and haste. It's a 4/1. Sack a creature, this creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Sacrifice creature was a human, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And she says, your blood is quite pleasing. A pity there's not enough for both of us. Nah, that's funny, man, because she drank all your blood and you died. I get it. I gotta tell you, man, this one, I love this card. I love Dark Ritual. And the Smoking Hot Master of the Dark Rites turns every token to a sweet mana boost. Sacrifice another creature, add black, black, black. Spend this mana only to cast Vampire, Cleric, and or Demon spells. Maybe get your Edgar out there 3 turns early. And of course, I am pretty big on Living Death. For reference, it's a 5 mana sorcery. Each player exiles all creature cards from their graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures they control, then puts all cards they exiled this way onto the battlefield. You're basically exchanging your graveyard for your battlefield. So listen, doesn't sound that great, right? But here's what you do. You sacrifice all your stuff, put it into the graveyard with like Viscera Seer, which can actually sacrifice itself, then Living Death them all back to the battlefield. I get back all my stuff, our opponents only get back what they already had in their yards. It can be a huge swing, especially if you pack in ETB effects. Also use that in zombie decks. Well, listen, man, Bringer the Last Gift is an 8 mana vampire demon 6/6 flyer that does the same thing. 8 mana, of course, is a lot, but this is a curve topper and great in your vampire decks. While we're on the subject of bringing things back, if you're sacrificing things for fun and profit, consider mass reanimation like Patriarch's Bidding. It's also just great after a board wipe, especially if you're in a tribal deck, man. 5 mana, each player chooses a creature type. Each player returns all creature cards of the type chosen this way from their graveyard to the battlefield. So what are we looking to get for all this sacrifice? Well, the idea is to make lots of tokens with Edgar, sacrifice them, drain the table. You have cards like Blood Artist. It's one of the most ubiquitous creatures in Magic, at least where I'm from, and that's Vampire Town, baby. Whenever this creature or another creature dies, the target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This only hits 1 player, alright, but counts all creatures, even your opponent's little buddies if you pack in a board wipe or something. Contrast that with Cruel Celebrant, one of my favorite wine moms out there. Whenever this creature or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Each opponent, that's pretty nice. You also have Falconwrath Noble, you have Vindictive Vampire, you have Vein Ripper. Vein Ripper is a very pricey card, man. Nice curve topper. New one is Vengeful Blood Witch, kind of a cool card, but again, hits only 1 player. Pawn of Ulamog, this guy was at the Korn show I attended in 2001. Looks like the guy from Korn anyway. 1 black creature vampire shaman, it's a 2/2. Whenever this creature or another non-token creature you control dies, you may create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature token that has sacrifice this token and colorless. More creatures dying, more creatures to sacrifice and drain the table. Relatively new and only 58 cents. Clavelenio. This guy's First of the Blessed. 1 white and a black for a legendary creature vampire cleric. It's a 2/2. Whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon in addition to its other types. It gains when this creature dies, draw a card and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. Again, more tokens, dude. These are a pretty legitimate threat, especially if you have some lords out there, decently sized 4/3 flyers. Clavelenio's a damn menace, dude. Another mean thing with Edgar is the fact that he's a decent finisher. He's got haste, attacks, grows your team, is hard to block with first strike. If you want to go with aristocrats, that's fine, but then you have Edgar sitting in the back waiting to go, man. Let's take a look at some sets that have come out since 2017. Some new cards for Edgar. Now this one is brand spanking new Renewed Solidarity. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+0. You're going to choose vampires, brother. At the beginning of your end step, for each token you control of the chosen type that entered this turn, create a token that's a copy of it. This is nuts with a token producing Eminence Commander. It's a little pump and doubles your token production. That's more dudes to sacrifice. Yeah, take a look at this guy, the Gas Guzzler. 1 black mana, creature, vampire, rogue. It's a 2/1, has start your engines. Basically, it's this whole speed thing, right? This creature enters tapped, has max speed, black, sacrifice another creature or vehicle, draw a card. Looks like Ben Stiller from Zoolander a little bit. Flashing that blue cobalt look full of gasoline he's drinking up. Neat, efficient little card. Speed mechanic sucks. Sorry speedsters out there, it sucks hot gasoline. Now, one of my recent favorites from the Jumpstart 2022 is Creeping Bloodsucker. At the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. So if you have 3 opponents, you're going to gain 3 life, deal 1 damage to each of them. Another nice little bit of drain. Another sweet $10 sack outlet is Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder, also from the Jumpstart set from this year or last year. 2 and a black, legendary creature, vampire soldier, has flying. Sacrifice another creature artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If it was a treasure, Evereth gains a lifelink until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. And when it dies, you may pay 1 and a hybrid black-red. When you do, Evereth deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Very decent for 3 mana, great sacrifice target, and a great sacrifice outlet. And of course, from Foundations, we have Bloodthirsty Conqueror. 3 black, creature, vampire knight. It's a 5/5 flying death touch. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. God, man, $40 for this thing. This is a redundant combo piece for exquisite blood, and there is a life game theme that's kind of prevalent with vampires. There are some payoffs for that as well, but you could also just combo this with Vito if you want, man. Good old Vito, spaghetti sauce, man. He goes nuts in these vampire decks. Love Vito. Never forget Uncle Vito, all right? Anyways, man, I just wanted to bang on about Edgar Markov for a little while here. He's a beautiful boy. What I like about the art is how he enlists his bros to come dress him, all right? Which is something I've never experienced myself. No one has ever helped me dress myself, at least not as an adult. And as I write this, I'm in my bathrobe and slippers, right? So if any of you bros want to pop in with some gauntlets, you know, maybe a t-shirt, I'm game, dude. Nobody? Anybody gonna? All right, forget it. Nikki G, Better Commander, signing off.